RuneScape is one of my favorite games of all time, beloved by many for decades. In the old school variation of this game, the most popular non-combat skill to get to max level is cooking. But does being a master chef in this world mean that you are actually serving up some exquisite platters? How many of these foods would be enjoyable to eat as a human being? Let's lay some ground rules. I'm judging these foods based on the ingredients and style. If an ingredient is clearly not there, I'm not going to directly compare it to a real-world counterpart. I'm not judging based on prep time, or lack thereof. All of these things are cooked in less than 5 seconds. Realistically, almost none of them would be edible. Lastly, I'm neither a RuneScape expert nor a culinary professional. I might have forgotten some foods, and my opinion on what's good might differ from yours. I will try to be as objective as possible where my palate is different than the medium. This 5-course meal of a video is cut into categories, and I've saved my overall opinion, including my favorites, for the end. Let's start with the meats. Let's get this out of the way. Some very rookie behavior, perhaps we could even call it Caucasian, happens here often. None of these foods are seasoned. Do you see the player character throwing on some salt, peppercorn, paprika, Cajun, anything? I don't. Most of these are not going to taste as good as they should. Chicken, not good. Where's the salt? Where's the pepper? Meat, that's your rat, your bear, your cow. Also not good. Roast bird meat. Now it is roasted, that's nice. So probably not awful, but still not great without some fixins. Roast rabbit. Roast is better. This might get a pass from some. Let's talk frog spawn and toad legs. I've had both. Personally, not for me, but I know some find them a delicacy. How about spider on a stick or spider on a shaft? No thank you. Thin snail, lean snail. Again, if you're a fan of escargot, this might be for you, but I'm not with you on this one. Now the ocean variety. These animals fare a bit better in the taste department, but they're still going to be unpleasant. They're not even deheaded or deboned. That's just poor customer service. Shrimp? Sure. Good as is. What about sardine and anchovies? These might be alright. They might actually benefit here from not being drowned in salt like in the real world. Okay, a lot of these can be grouped together because they have relatively the same thing going on. I'm not saying they're the same or they taste the same, but herring, mackerel, trout, cod, pike, salmon, tuna, bass, rainbow fish, yeah, they would all get a pass from me on flavor. I'm not eating those fish heads though. Slimy eel, cave eel, lava eel. I've never had eel, but Bing.com is telling me it's a sweet and light taste, moderately comparable to salmon, lobster, octopus. Those three aren't really similar flavors, but if it's in that range of taste, it's probably good. Lobster? Oh yes. Even without the butter. Swordfish. This stuff is very meaty, kind of like a fish steak, but very good on its own. What about monkfish and anglerfish? These uggos are referred to as the poor man's lobster. Similar in taste, but not as flavorful. It probably won't taste vile. It'd be alright. Let's talk shark. I don't know about you, but watching the player character throw down 28 entire sharks sounds like a nightmare. I did some very amateur math, and that's apparently millions of calories. Awesome. Anyway, shark is akin to chicken or alligator. If you've eaten gator, and I've had a little, yeah, it actually does taste quite close to chicken. So it'd be okay, maybe. Again, without fixings or seasonings. Not the best prepared dish. What about caramboine? I'm going to equate this to squid or octopus. Is that fair? I've had both, and it wasn't really for me, but I'll leave it up to you. Sea turtle? Yes. Totally. Manta ray. Apparently it tastes like shark, which tells me little to nothing. But if we go off of what shark tastes like, probably an alright grade. Dark crab. If this tastes like crab in the real world, then yes, crab is great. Okay, let's talk about our raw produce. What sort of fruits and veggies and what have you do I have to eat here? Alright, RuneScape's got strawberry, banana, orange, pineapple, dragon fruit. In my opinion, all of these taste great unprepared. Sign me up. What about cabbage? Yeah, I think the Gower brothers have done many a child or former child a disservice by slamming them in their video game. Not that I think they would have guessed their main demographic in the 2000s would be American children. Raw cabbage, though, not very good. Onion. Raw onion? I'm a fan. Eating a raw onion, though, I'll leave that to this kid. Pumpkin. Great on a lot of things, but just chowing down on an uncooked pumpkin? Not for me. Plus, it's expensive. Cooked sweet corn. Sure. Perfectly good food. Try it. Cheese. This looks to me of the Swiss variety. I like most cheeses, so of course. Apologies to my lactose intolerant people. Pot of cream. I mean, just eating cream on its own? That doesn't sound too pleasant. Lastly, monkey nuts. Of course. Now let's talk about our baked goods. Bread, roll, baguette, pita bread. In real life, yes, I would eat all of those things on their own. Not optimal, of course. I'm a bread guy though, so use your own discretion. Cake, chocolate cake, of course, I'm in, but not for a whole one. Now we've got our pies. Red berry pie. Yes, please. Meat pie. Well, this one's up to taste. Shepherd's pie just gets an alright in my book. I just don't like savory pies. Apple pie, of course. But real quick, is apple pie anyone's favorite pie? I'm looking more at my Americans here. I don't think I've met someone who likes apple pie the most. It's more of a middle of the pack kind of pie. Tell me if you disagree. I'm certainly not saying it's bad. Garden pie. This is made of tomato, onion, and cabbage. This doesn't sound good. I'm with the player on the description here. How about fish pie? It's made of trout, cod, and raw potato. Again, I can't knock it if I haven't tried it, but it wouldn't be the first thing I go to on the menu. What about the botanical pie, which is made of Golova Nova fruit top, which is, I have no idea what to equate this to. A fruit stem. It's gonna taste maybe a little sweet, mostly grassy or herbally. In a pie, for my taste, no thank you. Mushroom pie. I do love mushrooms, but this does not sound pleasant. Admiral pie is salmon, tuna, and raw potato. Another fish pie. I'm slightly more akin to try this because I love salmon and tuna, but still not my top pick. Dragon fruit pie. Totally. Dragon fruit tastes great. I'd put it in a pie. How about wild pie, which is bear, chompy, and rabbit? Another meat pie with a very different variety of meats that should maybe be prepared differently. It might be alright, who knows. I'll give it a tentative pass to be positive. Lastly, we've got the summer pie. Strawberry, watermelon, and cooking apple. Absolutely. This sounds delightful. Let's talk Gnome cuisine. Gnome cuisine is more on the exquisite or exotic end in RuneScape cooking, but there's some pretty interesting dishes here. Let's talk crunchies. Most of these strike me as a savory kind of dish. You've got toad crunchies, spicy crunchies, worm crunchies, and chocolate chip crunchies. Worm and toad throw me off, but I'm much more excited to try any of these. Why? Because they're all made with spices. This stuff is seasoned. Gnomes are officially invited to the cookout. Batas? Batah? I don't know. Am I off here? I'm thinking it's a little bit like a Danish. Fruit, veggie, worm, toad, cheese and tomato. Count me in for the fruit and veggie and cheese and tomato variations. I'm not very interested in trying worms or toad. Sorry. Now how about the vegetable ball, tangled toad's legs, wormhole, chocolate bomb? These are all basically bread bowls with your fixins thrown in. Despite the seasoning, toad's legs and wormhole are totally out for me. The veggie ball is onions and potatoes, so I would give that a try. And the chocolate bomb has to be good. It's called a chocolate bomb. What kid wouldn't blindly order that at a restaurant for dessert? Sign me up. Lastly, let's go over what I just threw in the dishes or etc. category. Stew. This is potato, chicken, meat, water, no fixins. I'm gonna say no. Curry. Curry is 3 curry leaves and water. Also no, that's not enough flavor. Now how about the triangle sandwich and the square sandwich? These look like cheese, lettuce, and the triangle maybe has some pepperoni or salami, maybe tomato. Sure, a little light on the flavor palette, but it would not taste bad. Now what is spicy sauce? It's chopped garlic and gnome spice. I'm gonna say that this probably doesn't taste that great on its own. There's the chili con carne, which adds some meat, and the meat with the garlic and seasoning does sound good. That would get a pass. Scrambled egg. This has apparently always been in the game. I've never seen this before or cooked it, but I think it would taste okay. No seasoning, no cheese, no added flavors. It wouldn't be a very flavorful meal, but there are worse. Egg and tomato adds a little variety, at least. That's a step up. Next is your fried onions and your fried mushrooms. Now, them being fried would add some well-needed flavor and texture, but on their own, these wouldn't be the most enjoyable meals. The mushroom and onion sounds a little better, but I'd still rather eat other things for a full meal. Tuna and corn. Did anyone else not know these existed? Have existed since 2006? I feel like a fraud. Anywho, yes, totally. That's a low ingredient meal, but it's 2 things that taste good cooked without much additionals. I'm very into try it. Alright, now it's potato time. There's a lot of different potato dishes. Baked potato, potato with butter, potato with cheese. Simple meals, but all fine food. Baked potato on its own without any additives might be a tough sell to some, but I'll do it. Egg potato is the egg and tomato combined with the tomato with butter. It sounded unpleasant at first, but that's actually a fairly good combination of flavors and textures. I'd give it a try. Tuna potato is the tuna and corn on the potato with butter. Why does this one weird me out? If you threw a tomato and butter in the bowl, I'd be fine. But for some reason, throwing the tuna and corn on top of the potato bothers me. Does anyone else know what I mean? I'm still willing to give it a try though. Mushroom potato is the mushroom and onion with the potato with butter. That's a brown overload, but yeah, I'm in. Now, the chili potato is the chili con carne on top of the potato with butter. That sounds pretty darn delicious actually, and now I'm hungry for one. Someone make me this and send it to this address.
Pizza time.
Alright, let's talk pizza. It's made with flour, tomato, and cheese, which, yeah, you can get fancier with it in the real world, but that's really all it takes. I'm happy to judge it as such. Plain pizza, of course. Meat pizza, which is meat or chicken. Now I'm much more partial to the chicken variety, but I'll take it. Anchovy pizza. Again, not for me. But if you like it in real life, you probably like it here. Last of the pizzas is the pineapple pizza. Alright, I know this is a bit of a meme at this point, but I am on the side of liking it. If you don't, that's okay. Let's not fight about it, the kids are listening upstairs. Lastly, the kebab. Okay, if you're American, born and raised, I need to tell you something. This is a food that is rampant in Europe and other parts of the world, and it's hard to describe if you haven't had it, just how incredible it is. Yes, absolutely yes. I want some now, please. Let's wrap this up. What's the best? What's the worst? And would I live happily in the RuneScape world? We just went over a lot of foods, so here's a really simple chart of the ones I liked and the ones that I didn't. What do I think that I would like the least? For me, it would be wormhole, a whole pumpkin, and that watery curry. What about what would send my taste buds to the highest place? Honestly, that chili potato is still calling my name. I'd also love to try the chocolate bomb, and, of course, the heavenly kebab. The conclusion is rather obvious, but if I were thrown headfirst into the land of Old School Runescape, I'd probably eat pretty happily, as long as I'm not too busy getting pickpocketed or splashed. I would probably ask a gnome to cook my food though, not someone in a cooking cape. A final note, if you like this video, stick around. I'm not dedicating myself to RuneScape specifically, but I will have some more things up hopefully soon. If you didn't like this video, if you think you can do a better version of it or have better takes, do it. Not that you needed my permission, but I'd love to see what other spins people could do on this topic. Then link me your video. I'd love to watch it. That's it. Later.